It's from what my parents tell me.
Dad, can I ask you, are you guys born in America?
No,
Which country?
Soviet Union.
Oh, now what does Soviet? Which country in Soviet Union?
Well, now it's Ukraine. So we know all about socialism and it doesn't work. And, I have friends who work in Burisma in Ukraine, and back when Obama was a president, Trump wasn't even in the picture. They told me about Biden and all the dirty deals that his son is doing there, So when Trump started talking about it, right away I knew it's true because I already heard about it years ago.
Now, many people claim, well, this is just what Biden, the son Hunter, did, and Joe didn't benefit from it, or he didn't influence.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
That it didn't influence American policy, or Joe didn't take any money.
Well, I'm sure he did. His son received money, and how it works after that, who knows? But we all heard the Babalinsky, and I think he explained it pretty clear how they operate.
That Joe was at least in for 10% himself.
That's what we heard from the guy who was a middleman.
What about what he did with the prosecutor who was investigating Burisma?
I think if Trump did that, he would be impeached the next day. The guy brags on TV. What authority does Biden have to fire a prosecutor in a foreign country? He has no authority. And from my friends in Ukraine, everybody actually say that prosecutor was very honest person, and because he was investigating the deal with Biden, with Hunter Biden, that's why he wanted him out. So have you imagine if Ukrainian president would come to America and demand our prosecutor being fired? Would it ever happen?
How do you feel about the educational bias that your daughter's expressing?
Well, it's horrible because she's afraid to saying, what she feels in school because she's afraid of retaliation from the teachers and from her classmates. She says most of her classmates will not talk to her if she admits that she's for Biden.
I mean for Trump.
For Trump, I'm sorry. Yes. So this is back to Soviet Union years. That's what we lived through in Soviet Union when we were afraid to say something. Is that what's going to happen in America?
Do you see any parallels occurring to what happened in former Soviet Union?
Oh, of course. This is exactly the same playbook they're using. That Russians, what happened in 1917 before Russian Revolution, when they allowed thugs to ruin people's businesses, to kill business owners, to put fear into people. The same thing happening here, what happened in Nazi Germany before Hitler took the guns from all the Germans, before he executed all his evil plans. That's what they're trying to do here.
How about the media?
Oh, the media is horrible, the lies, and the bias is just unbelievable. That's what was in Soviet Union. They were feeding us lies. At that time, half of them we wouldn't even realize, but now looking back, remembering what they were telling us, one simple thing to every American, I can say that back in Soviet Union they used to tell us that America wants to kill, to erase us from the face of this earth, and we were living in fear, thinking that all Americans are evil and they bloodthirsty, and you guys thought the same about us, So it's all the propaganda, in reality, Russians don't want to kill Americans and Americans don't want to kill Russians, People get along really well, but they always find a way to divide people. They use these tactics just recently in the war with Russia and Ukraine. They put hate.
Who used the tactics?
I'm sorry?
Who used the tactics you're talking about?
Oh, it was, I think, Ukraine is a playground, political playground, because the way to put pressure on Russia, and I wouldn't speculate who exactly did it, I'm sure. I'm sure George Soros has something to do with it, and they put hate between people that used to be one family, and in America they're using race to divide us, So
They're alleging that white people are racist, that the country is.
yeah, that's exactly that's the agenda they have right now. That apparently white people supposed to feel guilty for just the way we are born, But this is not the way to go. We should be all one family here. We are if divided country is just easy to break up. That's what happened in Soviet Union. How did they break it up? They divide people. They put hate in between different republics, and that's how it became weak. So.
I see. Are you Russian Orthodox?
Well, we are Jewish, but I think religion.
Did they turn the religions against each other?
Well, that was used back with communists. They needed a scapegoat, and they used to blame Jews for everything, But back in Soviet Union, people hated Jews, and they couldn't even explain why, So same thing here, how every time somebody tells me Trump is a racist, I ask them, please tell me why, Give me an example, find me a video to prove that. They never can,
Yeah, exactly. So the people here, what are they expressing here? This woman is dancing out in the street, showing her freedom.
Yeah, this is the form of expressing. This is a freedom of speech when we can freely express what we feel, and that is being slowly taken away from us. Because if you can see all that on the other side, all those rails. This is apparently because the mayor of Beverly Hills doesn't want us here,
Well, okay. How about social media? Is social media being used against people in your view?
That's the best weapon they have.
In what way? You can hold the mic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because
Look at me.
Yeah, because most of the people, unfortunately, get their news from the media, and when you listen to what they feed you, after a while you start believing it because you don't have any other information. And actually, Denzel Washington said it very well. He says, if you listen to the news, you're misinformed. If you don't listen to the news, you're uninformed. So, go figure. I think everybody should do their own independent research and read as well as watch independent media, maybe foreign media, just to compare and come to their own logical conclusion. Logic is the key.
Yeah. Let's say, would you encourage people to watch RT channel?
Well, if they watch RT, I know that owned by a Russian media, and of course, there's always agenda. Each station has their own agenda. That's why, on top of watching different station, people should read. And history. If people know the history, then they can compare, because what's happening in front of your eyes, you can argue with it. There's a guy actually on YouTube that gave his interview in 1984. His name is Yuri Bezmenov. He is the ex-KGB agent who defected to United States. And back in 1984, he warned us about everything that's happening now. He said will happen.
He said that what did he say in specifics?
He said, okay. Oh, well, I probably will not say it as well as he did, but he said back in the days during the Cold War, you know, Russians never expected to take over United States with guns. They decided to infiltrate the country, universities, Hollywood, and Yuri Bezmenov was the one in charge of getting agents in here. He says they used the professors in the university who already had liberal ideas, and a lot of big shot Hollywood producers to do that. And he says first you work on that, and it takes about 15 to 20 years to demoralize the nation. And he says that happened, and they were very successful in it. And you can see it how our own citizens, some of them hate their own country, and
Some of our own what?
I'm sorry,
Some of our own what?
our own citizens, you know, they have such a hate to this country, and that's the point of demoralization, you know. And then the next steps comes, you know, and I don't remember that one. He said takes about 2 years. You know, I encourage people to watch this 7 minutes video. Just type Yuri Bezmenov and you find it, you know. And then he says comes the crisis, the stage. I think it's a third stage, and that's what we see now with COVID and all the closures. And after that, he says once you put a different government, the government that fits their agenda, comes the normalization. That's he says when the tanks roll in and they stay in.
When the what rolls in?
Tanks roll in and they stay indefinitely just until people accept it. And I hope it will never get to that, because it did get to it back in Soviet Union, and we remember those images from the 90s when tanks were rolling over people. So I hope it will never happen here.
What's your name again?
Alex,
Alex, last
Where are
name?
you from, Alex?
from Soviet Union. Oh, you too.